Hello, this is Steve Board and the Watertown Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chat, and this edition is with the Watertown Humane Society. And I have Heather Van Dam and Kathy Polanski with us, and we're going to talk about the Humane Society today. Would that be all right?
That'd be great.
That'd be great. So let's start by talking about how long you all have been involved with the Humane Society. When did you start, Heather?
I started in probably 2010 as a volunteer with a friend of mine. She was the president, so I would come along with her to the different various fundraisers and stuff and help her with that, and then started working at the shelter as an adoption counselor in about 2018.
Okay.
And then we went through a program through the UW Shelter Medicine program, and they created some different roles, things we needed, and one was executive director, and that was in 2021, I believe, right? And that I took that role when we created that position.
All right, Kathy?
I started volunteering there in 2017 with my son. Joined the board of directors in 2018 or spring of 2019, somewhere in there, and became board president in spring of 2021.
Good, excellent. What's an executive director do?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. I kind of have my hands in everything from the human resource end to the supply ordering to major decisions regarding the care of the animals at the shelter.
Okay.
And staff.
Yeah, and the staff.
And you know,
And accounting.
And
She helps with the accounting.
we were talking before we started today, and that one of the things I didn't ask you is the animals that are there. So what kind of animals do you have? I mean, obviously, I think dogs and cats.
Correct. Currently, just dogs and cats.
Okay.
On occasion, we will have a small animal, a rabbit, a guinea pig, a hamster, something of that nature. A bird occasionally. Reptiles, very seldom, but sometimes. We have a lot of great network animal shelters and rescues and things that they're more equipped to handle those types of things. So we'll reach out to them if we get any of those in and ask if they're, and just transfer them, and they're always happy to help us.
So how many dogs and or cats are typically at the shelter?
Typically, we usually have about 20 dogs and about 30 cats.
Okay, and they're all available
All
for
but one.
adoption?
All but Miss Meadow. Meadow is the shelter cat. She's been sanctuary there, and she's not available for adoption. She's all ours.
But that's the one I wanted.
That's the one everybody wants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a behavioral issue that anytime she gets adopted, she just gets returned
It doesn't
fairly
work.
quickly. We won't talk about that on TV, what she does,
Okay.
but
She likes the shelter.
she likes it there, and she's made that very obvious.
So what are you looking forward to in 2023?
2023 is probably going to be one of the most exciting years in my time with the Humane Society. We are working on a major shelter renovation initiative where we are looking to expand our new low-cost spay-neuter clinic, as well as make major improvements to our dog kennel housing area, which have been two kind of much needed things for many, many years. So we decided to start working with an architect and start making a plan and raising the funds to move forward to make those much needed improvements.
How many funds are we talking about?
We are talking, right now the budget is looking at about $2.1 million.
2.1 million? And you've gotten started on that?
We have, yes,
Okay.
we have, yeah.
Do you have some fundraising activities coming up or something people should be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Our big fundraiser is August 19th, the Furry Feud. Second year we're doing it. Basically, it's a game show, kind of based off of the Family Feud, but it's more geared around animals.
So you have the animals on camera arguing with one another?
Sometimes. I mean, we have two shows, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. There's 8 teams per show, and we encourage the teams to have a theme, come dressed up. They can choose their walk-up music, and some were dressed as cats, dogs, you know, different animals. It's really fun. There's silent auction with each show and a 50-50 raffle. It's going to be at Turner Hall.
And when is this?
August 19th. It's a Saturday.
So
It's-
when we talk about renovating the Humane Society, is that all within the existing walls?
We are going out towards the street
Okay.
quite a bit, but everything else should stay fairly structurally the same.
So we're towards the street, the parking area?
Towards Water Tower Park, or Water Tower Court rather, toward that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, now that
Yeah.
you mentioned it. Your location is,
418 Water Tower Court, Watertown.
which is off of West Street?
Off of West Street, right up the hill up the hill by the Blue Water Tower,
Right.
by Wispac.
Okay. So it's close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
It's very close.
All right. Talk about, you both started as volunteers. So how are you doing with volunteers?
We have a village of the most supportive, amazing, helpful, selfless people I could ever put together. They give their blood, sweat, and tears every day to make the shelter clean, keep the animals safe, do donation drives for us. I can't even tell you if there's ever been a thing I've asked for help with that they don't jump to come help with. They are absolutely amazing. They have their fearless leader, Lisa Steffel, is our volunteer coordinator. She is amazing as a human, as a coordinator, she just has everybody always feeling super appreciated and supported, and helps us keep everything just kind of in line, which we need because it can get a little chaotic over there sometimes.
How
So
large is your actual full-time staff?
our full-time staff is only actually 4 people.
So you plus 3? And then how many volunteers do you use on a weekly basis?
We have 50 active volunteers, 49 at the moment, but 50 active volunteers. And I would say in rotation, there's probably 20 to 25 every single week that rotate on different shifts doing different tasks.
Okay. I usually think of the Humane Society as a place where I can go adopt a pet, a dog, a cat, whatever. But you were telling me earlier today about your spay and neuter program. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So during COVID, I think you've heard probably that vet care became increasingly difficult to attain.
Sure.
And for us, we don't just have your average number of family pets. You know, we take in almost 800 animals every year who in most cases need to get spayed and neutered. And so we were putting a huge strain on our local vet clinics to ask them to not only spay and neuter all of those animals for us, but also do it at a reduced cost that we can afford. So it came to the point where we just had to make a decision to make a space in our own shelter to open up a small clinic for just our own animals. But what I realized was that the public was experiencing the exact same thing,
Right.
more on the affordability end for people. And so when someone can't afford vet care for their animals, is especially spaying and neutering, and they just want to return them then, or they want to surrender them to the Humane Society for adoption because they can't afford them. So for us, it was, what can we do now that we have this clinic for our own animals to help service the community and open this up to them at a lower cost than they would pay at a traditional vet clinic.
So what is the cost?
So the cost for cats is $150. The cost for dogs is $250, regardless of their gender. There's vaccines that can be done during their spay and neuter. We don't offer those outside their surgery appointment, but if they are going to have their animal altered at our clinic, we can also get them up to date on their vaccines for a lower cost as well.
And do you do all that when I come to adopt a pet from you? Is that all part of that adoption
Correct,
process?
yes, it's all completed most of the time by the time you adopt them.
Okay. Talk about the types of dogs, cats, whatever are available today. I was really hoping you were going to bring an animal
I
with
did
you,
think of
but,
that this
I'm
morning.
here,
Yes,
So,
we would have been very distracted.
Yes, we would have.
So right now we have about 15 dogs at the shelter, all large dogs. We don't typically get a lot of small dogs. We would love to. We just don't get the opportunity to get them there, which is good. That means they're all in homes, hopefully. So, but for us, it's larger breed dogs, some with some pretty significant behavioral issues that we're hoping to find those people that are willing to take the time and the patience to help them work through that. Cats are cats. There's always the shy cats and the kitten season right now. So right now we have all the pregnant mamas having babies in foster, and in 8 or 10 weeks or so we'll be bursting at the seams with kittens for adoption too. So
can you help people find trainers? if they take on
We
some
do
of
have
these?
some resources that some of the local trainers have offered to us at the shelter. We're all force-free certified, so we believe that everything should be done with positive reinforcement, so no adverse training. So we
Right.
don't believe in prong collars or shock collars or any kind of sort of methods like that. So we have a group of trainers who have aligned with our beliefs in that way that we will offer out their information to contact.
So what are the hours of the shelter?
We are closed on Sundays and Mondays, but we're open Tuesday through Friday from 10 until 5, and then Saturdays from 10 until 3.
Okay.
And
And-
we function adoptions by appointment. So if you're looking to adopt, you look on the website, see who's available for adoption that you're interested in. Always can call us for questions if you have more questions you're not finding answers to. Fill out the application. We process the application. We call them then in for an appointment to adopt, hopefully same day.
We went through that process with you probably 7, 8 years ago, and it was pretty simple, and it was
Thank you.
pretty painless.
We try to make it as quick and as painless as possible.
It was good.
Sometimes people want to just walk in and they can be frustrated
I want that
sometimes.
one.
Right,
Yeah.
and they can be frustrated, but for us, we mentioned how many staff members. There's actually only 2 of us on the adoption side of things, and I'm one of them,
Right.
so I wear many hats. So we have to be able to dedicate that time to people, to take the time to sit down with them and talk about their needs and what the animals' needs are and make sure it's a good fit. And if we're bombarded by too many people, we can't focus. So as frustrating as it can be when you want to just immediately come in and adopt an animal sometimes, if we have time, of course. If we're not
Sure.
busy, absolutely, but it's just an easier time management thing
Yeah.
for us.
How do I find you?
You find
What's-
us on our website, yes,
which is?
WHSadopt.org.
WHSadopt.org. Okay.
Yes. Or if you Google Watertown Humane Society, just make sure to put Watertown Humane Society, Watertown, Wisconsin, or you'll end up in South Dakota.
Yeah, there's like 50 Watertowns.
Yes,
across
there are
the
many
country, so,
Watertowns.
yeah.
We get those calls often.
And how do I call you?
Call us at 920-261-1270.
Okay. How long has the Humane Society been there? Do you
We've
know?
been in this current location since, I believe, 1967,
Something like that.
67, 69, something like that.
Operating in Watertown for many years before that?
Correct, yes, we're coming up to our 40 year, 50? I'll have to do that.
Yeah,
We got a little
67 is-
project in the works,
Yeah,
so that's
'cause
maybe another
we used
visit
to be
for
at a
us.
different location. We've been in the current building since late 90s, correct?
Yes, correct. So I think we've been around since
So you've been around since 67 in the
67,
building?
in this building since 97.
Yeah, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so if we could do math quickly, we could figure that out, but
It's
too early for
It's
math.
not my expertise
No.
either, trust me. Well, ladies, this has been wonderful. So glad
you.
that you came in to see us. And the Watertown Humane Society, if you get a chance, go visit, just spend some time with the animals. You can just play with them, enjoy them. And maybe you need to go adopt one. So this has been our Chamber Chat. I'm Steve Board. Be a member, be engaged, and be noticed.